is ready. Ready on the right, ready on the left.
Everybody, welcome to this episode of Saved Rounds. This is episode 23, and today we're interviewing our guest, Fernando Borboa. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And where did you drive down from?
From Ontario, California.
How was the traffic?
It wasn't too bad, actually. This morning it was pretty nice. Foggy, but pretty nice. What do you guys call it?
The marine layer.
That's it.
Well, I mean, that's the I guess the scientific term because we're so close to the ocean. I don't think it has anything to do with Camp Pendleton.
I think it does.
No, one knows. Anyway, so, and then you're currently in the ministry and you're part of 3 ministries.
That is correct.
Which 3?
So I'm part of Frontside Military Outreach, which is a military organization where we just reach the veterans to give them the gospel. And then I go to Calvary Chapel, Golden Springs, which on Sundays, I'm a part of the security ministry. And then also I'm a part of the children's ministry on Wednesdays.
Awesome. And then you were also in the United States Army.
I served total of 6 years in the Army as an infantryman. I did 4 years active duty, 1 year National Guard, and 1 year where I got called back.
Oh, they recalled you, huh?
Yes, I did. I did another extensive stay in the wonderful holiday of Iraq.
And if you all are not aware, this gentleman here, he was on the cover of Time magazine.
Yes, I was.
I still have that picture, by the way.
Really?
Yes, I showed it to the young Marines here. I'm like, this guy was on the cover of Time magazine and show him. Which brings me to my next question here before we get into ministry questions. Tell us a little bit how you came to know Jesus.
So when I was 15, my mom gave her life to the Lord. I had a aunt who was going to Calvary Chapel, Golden Springs. Invited my mom. She gave her life to the Lord, but unfortunately, at 15, I was well into the world. So I kind of got introduced to it then, but it wasn't until when I was in Iraq in 2003 that my mom would send me, my twin brother, pictures of church that I wanted to go to church. First time in my life. But when I came home after everything happening, I just felt so out of place that I walked away from it completely up until 2008 when my wife, now Cecilia, girlfriend at the time, I came home from Iraq for my second tour, and we went to church and we were doing marital counseling, Christian counseling to get married so that way I could have a free pastor. And my wife accepted the Lord then. And little by little, out of respect for my wife, I started going to church, and the Lord just got a hold of me. Yeah.
And that was back in
2008.
2008. Okay. And then you have how many kids now?
So I have 5 kids. I have 1 granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
And then a grandbaby on the way. Yes.
You do not look like a grandpa.
No. The trick is cocoa butter.
Cocoa butter. Cocoa butter.
And rice and beans.
Rice and beans.
That's it.
Oh, it's so funny. Awesome. And then you said your brother served as well?
Yeah. So me and my twin brother and a cousin of mine, we went in on the buddy program, and we did a total. We were supposed to only do a year. It was like a try 1 year. And we ended up going through boot camp together. We ended up getting to Germany, which we were stationed in Baumholder, Germany, Alpha Company 1-6 Infantry. We went to our first duty station, and I think within like 3 months of being in Germany, we got called into the Sergeant Major's office, all 3 of us, and he was supposed to separate us, and he never did. So he left it to company level, and our first sergeant said, well, just keep him in different squads at least. So yeah, I served with my twin, and we literally went from boot camp, Germany, Iraq. We got out. We went to the National Guard, which took us to Katrina. And the only thing he didn't go with me on my second tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, your twin brother lives close to you?
He lives about an hour away. He lives in the high desert. So he's fairly. Our wives keep us far away enough so we don't get in trouble. We get near each other, and then we start to to get a little too crazy with each other. So
And are you guys identical?
identical.
Even to the goatee and everything?
No, so we've always had rules growing up because, as little kids, unfortunately, like I think it happens with all twins. They want to dress you exactly alike. And my mom, unfortunately, did it to like almost junior high.
Mhm.
So we got so like, we have this like thing about looking alike. So he'll have, like he has the Fu Manchu, he has the mustache and the goatee. I could only have the goatee because he had the mustache first. When I had a mustache, he could only have a goatee. And that's the way we basically go. So whenever we're getting ready to like meet up somewhere, we'll call each other to see what the other person's wearing. And just in case the other person's trying to be funny, we always bring extra clothes so we don't look like.
So at front sight, you never have him fill in and pretend to be you?
No. So now my brother's been working out for like the last 3 years. So he's substantially bigger than me now.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, even at front sight, like the moment this dude opens his mouth, everybody knows who he is.
Oh, man.
Like I could talk smack, but my brother just never stops talking smack. So it's pretty funny.
And he's following the Lord?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. He goes to Calvary Chapel High Desert.
Oh,
I believe.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So, and then if there's a part of the story, if you don't mind sharing, because I remember you came here a few years back and shared your story on a Friday night, and you talked about being in the invasion and how your platoon sergeant had to hit you in the Kevlar and tell you to get back into the fight.
Yeah.
And that always stayed with me about that story.
Yeah. It was our very first firefight. And I think anybody who's been in it, it's not, Call of Duty. So it's not a, oh, let me just get in this. Not for everybody, at least.
Ooh.
For me, that first time I heard that round go by my head, I mean, I just tensed up. And it wasn't until my squad leader is the one that actually came up and just butt stroked me in the back of the head to kind of snap me out of it and said, hey, you need to get in this and get in it now. And that was it. That's all it took. It's like I had to come back to reality where I was. Like I said, I think a lot of people, they go through that shock factor at first, first round go off or first mortar round go off, whatever the case may be.
Have you thought about how that physical event has impacted you in your walk with Christ?
Yeah, you know what? It has always been a hindrance upon my walk. Just my whole time in service, like everything that I've dealt with over there. Because I have been one of those that unfortunately have used my PTSD as a crutch, rather than allowing the Lord to you basically call it for what it is that my lashing out in anger is not okay because I have PTSD. My my freaking out and keeping my family isolated is not okay. It's one of those. It's like a growing pains.
Okay. So here's a question for you. For those who may be watching and they're listening to this, and maybe they're struggling with PTSD, maybe they're combat vets, and they feel like that, because there's a lot of them I talk to. They feel like if I just go hide in the woods, if I just go live on a piece of land, if I just have enough guns, if I do this, I do that. What advice would you give to any vet or any person? Because there's other forms of PTSD from like car wrecks and other things.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them about overcoming that PTSD or managing it, or just that? And then the second part I would add to it is, how do you feel that the Lord helped you through it?
I think the simplest thing for any one of us that is battling with any kind of trauma, right? Not like you stated, you don't necessarily have to be in a first responder, military that went to war to have PTSD. The very first thing that we always do is we try to avoid it or hide from it, so we don't have to relive that moment again. And that's, because I've had those ideas of going out to the woods and buying me, land and being away from people. But you know what? I've come to understand that the more that I do face it and talk about it and not allow it to have more control over me, it doesn't go away by any means. Because I still battle. I still find myself finding that corner of the restaurant so I can make sure I see my avenue of escape and avenue of attack. But I don't allow it to hinder just my welfare of life anymore. You know, my family has sacrificed so much from not being able to go out and about where there's too many people. And now as much as uncomfortable as I am, I go with them. And to the second part of the question, where I find peace is in the moments that it's starting to, my anxiety's coming up, my anger's coming up. I pray and I ask the Lord, just protect me. Give me that comfort. Give me that ability to just be here right now with my family, or to just not react. One of my biggest prayers right now is, Lord, just let me be quiet. I don't want my tongue to start cutting. So whenever I get angry, whenever I get frustrated, whether it be at work or whatnot, I just, that's my thing, James. I gotta be slow to speak. But yeah, I would say my biggest advice is we can't hide from it, because that's not healing. We have to heal and from the trauma that we've faced, and it will never go away. But when you surrender it to the Lord, that's when the healing could begin.
Yeah, very true. Praise the Lord. That's really good. I'm glad you could share on that, and I know there's a lot of people who've gone through it, with the PTSD factor. And I discovered, like you probably have, it's all on different levels.
Mm.
Where, I mean, like for me personally, I don't, like you say, let's go to the state fair. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go, let's do fireworks. It's funny with fireworks for me. I don't know if it's the same for you. If I'm at a fireworks show, I'm not into it. If I'm firing them off, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, because I know it's me.
Yeah. Even for me, like I can go to say wherever, Disneyland, and they're going to have fireworks, because I know, okay, at 8:00, there's going to be fireworks. I'm staring at my watch every 2 seconds, and then they go off and I'm fine. Or same thing, if we're with the family, I can let them off, no problem. But it's going out to my street, taking my trash cans, and then all of a sudden someone lets off some mortars, and I'm just like, yeah, I hate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're on that one.
I try not to do the turtle shell in my house too often.
All right. And then, so switching gears here, and then how long you been following Jesus?
For 12 years.
12 years. Awesome. So now, how long have you been in the ministry?
So I've been with Frontside since 2015. So for the last 9 years, I've been steadily going, and then for the last 8 years, I've been teaching at Frontside, teaching the Bible studies.
How often do you teach?
We have a rotation going on, so I'll teach maybe once or twice a month, just depending on the situation. Sometimes people call out, I get to teach more, but normally, like I said, we have a rotation, and we try to get everybody in and allow them to go through the book that we're going through at the time.
Okay, and then you also do security. You said
I do. I've been doing security now for the last 3 years at Golden Springs,
and then working with kids.
Yes, the more the administrative side, being more of a support for the teachers, and then at the same time, I use it to do the security for the kids.
Got it.
So the security that I do, it's for the whole church, but it's mainly for the kids.
The kids area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So I'll circle back around to those, because I got some questions for those.
You got it.
All right, now let's talk about Frontside for a minute here. So Frontside, I would say, when people ask, I go, it's kind of our sister unit. Slightly different, where we set up as a cafe and feed everybody. You guys have that gym.
Yeah.
People come work out. They get the gospel. You got Tuesday night chapel.
Yes.
And you guys started Sunday morning service.
Sunday morning.
And now you are officially recognized as a Calvary Chapel.
That is correct.
Calvary Chapel Frontside.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's pretty cool.
It is.
And then Octavio is the senior pastor.
He's the senior pastor. He's our director. He's the man.
He's everything.
Yeah, he's the man. He's the one-man band.
One-man band. All right. Now, let me ask you this. Let's talk about Frontside for a minute before we get to the other ministries. What do you like most about being in the ministry at Frontside?
You know what? It's the closest to being in the military, being at Frontside. We have all walks of life. We have everybody from the Navy, Marines, Army, not only the branches, but eras, different eras. We got guys that were in Vietnam, guys that were, never in wartime. And then we have guys from Iraq, and then even guys after Iraq, they come through. And it's just awesome we all speak the same language. No matter what, it does not change. We speak the same language, and it's cool to just see, to have that ability to be you as a military guy that never leaves you, but yet, we're all Christ-like, man. We still have that fellowship, in the Lord within it. But the row sessions are pretty nice.
Good.
Yeah.
What do you would say is the hardest part about doing Frontside or being part of Frontside?
You know what? I would have to just say,
Don't say Octavio.
No. No, he.
Because Joseph be like that too. Joseph be like Levi.
Yeah. I would say that only if he was here in front of me. No, you know what? All honesty, it's just the brokenness within the brothers. The brothers and the sisters and the families. It's so hard, man, to not just be able to be like, bro, come on, man, it's gonna be good, and you just see it. You see it on their faces. You see guys that just go away. We've had, unfortunately, brothers that have ended their life, and it's hard. It's super hard.
Yeah, when I was up there, I noticed you guys had a memorial to them.
Yeah. We every year we do car shows to just pay respect to all those that have passed on, and just ended the fight. And we got a Billy, Mama T's son, who right around 2001, same, he gave us, he gave up, and he gave in. And again, it's hard to kind of express, because being that a lot of us have been there, it makes sense for us at the time, but like now on this side of it, it's like, man, it's like you want to give them that knowledge. It's like, bro, just keep holding on, keep fighting. Trust me, like you're gonna win this battle, and it's just painful, man.
It is. For you guys who don't know, who are watching, they say 22 vets a day take their lives. It's pretty intense, and I think myself personally, and I know you, we've all have friends or people we know. It's never easy, and it's one of the hardest things to talk about, especially in the church. So let me ask you this question, if it's okay. First of all, you talked about being on this side of it. So what would you tell somebody who's struggling with it? And so there's two sides of this. So the first one is, what would you tell somebody who's struggling with this that doesn't know Jesus? And what would you tell somebody who knows Jesus is the truth?
So in 2007, prior to my second deployment, I wanted to end my life. I already planned it out. I had it all set. And the reasoning is that I felt like such a burden to my family. And this is prior to me having kids and my wife. You feel like a burden. And I think that's one of the factors, is that as veterans, we have so much going on, and the battles, the pains, the struggles mentally mainly, and you just want it to end. You just want not end in the sense as like suicide is what you're yearning for, but it's a ticket out from all of it. And I remember for myself, by the grace of God, I didn't go through with it. I had my twin brother in the next room beside me, and unknowingly, he was going through the same battles of wanting to end his life, and the Lord just stopped me from doing it. But as a believer now, those thoughts, not that it's a desire for me, but the enemy still allows those thoughts to be a factor for me. Because I still, like I said, I still have the pains. I still battle with night terrors. I still battle with all of it. Every bit of it prior to being a believer, I still have it. And the enemy will put a seed. If you just don't wake back up tomorrow, you won't have to feel this no more. And it's just understanding that what, God has me here for a purpose, and until that purpose is fulfilled, then I'll be removed from here, and I'll be with the Heavenly Father. But it's just, it all goes back to anybody that I talk to, I always go back to what, it's about knowing Jesus. It's that ends everything. because even the desires there, the understanding that, you know what, if God hasn't removed me here, why am I going to get in front of him?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's something that's, we don't realize how much it impacts people. I've talked to individuals that you didn't even know they were impacted by it until they open and share about it. So front sight, you're reached on the military. You got different vets. For the branches of service, would you say it's majority Army or? I've been up there, and you guys like to get on each other's cases sometimes.
Dude, like, that's all we do. That's all we do. Like 9 out of 10, it's Army, Marines. Like we always go back and forth, But like right now, like it's a good mix, and it's not just anymore military. Now we have first responders, we have police officers, we have firefighters, and more importantly, like we're even offering it to the families. Like, we got people that are going that are not veterans, that are not first responders, but they have family members that either dads that been through PTSD and they were raised up with it, and now they're going there for support. So it's a beautiful just mix of all around. But yeah, branches wise, I think it's fairly around. I think we're outnumbered by the Marines, to be honest with you, only because Octavio let so many Army guys in.
So, for anyone in the Ontario area, because that's where you guys are located,
yes. Right next to Ontario Airport.
Right next to Ontario Airport. Yep. Okay, so if you're interested and you're watching this and you're near Ontario, California, or that region, they're next to the Ontario Airport. It's a great place for get ministered to. Yeah. Tuesday night's good. I've been there, and I went there for the Freedom Conference.
Yes.
And I think the Discipleship Conference.
Yes.
It was pretty cool. So let's talk about the other ministries you're in. So you do security, helping with the church at Calvary Chapel, Golden Springs.
Yes.
And then basically for the kids side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you like most about the security part?
Like, I mean, more than anything is just feeling like you're making a difference of protecting the body, being that sheep herder. But I say maybe like 4 years ago, prior to me joining the security ministry, there was a false alarm that was given over the radios in the children's ministry, and it shut everything down. And I remember being a parent as they locked it all down, and my kids were in the children's ministry and not knowing what was going on. It just came to understanding that, man, we've never had security in that little area. So for those of you that haven't been to Golden Springs, the children's ministry is separated from the rest of the body, and which is a good thing. We now got it locked down, but back then, if something had to happen, even our own security guards at the time, I remember seeing them, they were struggling to get in because they had to shut all the doors. And that's when the Lord just put on my heart, like, man, I need to be there. And more than anything, like, I'm no one special, but at least there's somebody standing at the front lines in case something happens. And that's what I do. I stand in one place, and it's where I stand. It's every avenue you see me. So, and people know now, like, I don't stand there, like a statue or like a British guard, but like,
you just blend in.
I don't even know if I blend in, because a lot of people come up to me and they ask me flat out, like, "Are you security?" And I'll tell them, parents. I'll tell them, "Yeah, I'm a security guard," and they feel better knowing that there's security there. And I tell them, "No, I don't go nowhere. I stay right here." So it's just something that's been on my heart. And then of course, if something happens, they always call me up, just to help out and whatever the case may be.
So would you say that was also the hardest part about that? Or was there anything that's you would share that's harder about doing the security?
You know what, with security, the hard part is it's still understanding the boundaries of kind of like when we're in the military, the level of escalation, because for me, I can go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, like no problem, but it doesn't require that. Sometimes, it's just a misunderstanding, and it's just hard to gauge it. You have to be constantly on your toes. I remember when I first started the ministry, And I first started my post, what I call it, a dad was coming through, and I've never seen him before, and I didn't see him with no. You have to have these specific stickers for the kids. And right away, like a bulldog, man, I was like, hey, come here. Who are you? And one of the guys was like, hey, bro, he's one of the dads. I'm like, oh, sorry, carry on. And the dude was just looking at me like, what is wrong with this crazy guy, you know? And after a while of doing that, the guys pulled me aside. They're like, hey, man, you gotta tone it down just a little bit, you know? So yeah, it's hard to just kind of gauge it. My thing now is just I watch for anybody that looks out of place. And I simply just approach, hey, are you lost? You need some help? And right away you could tell.
No knife handing?
Yeah. I try to keep them in the holsters, you know?
Do you guys, as far as security, do you carry anything for protection? Anyone? I imagine there's got to be someone concealed carry.
Yeah, there is. But it's being that where we go, it's a college. You can't conceal carry on school grounds. So there's like a lot of gray area. We do have former police officers that do they are armed, but not everybody's allowed to do it. It just it's not a free for all. If you're on security, you get to just carry a gun or whatever. But we have protocols. And we have just different things that we do.
And how often? Well, I saw the footage that happened with that one dude when he stood up and.
Yeah.
He was trying to scream and yell at Raul and come on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our main, like inside the sanctuary, the guy that took him down, that his name, he's actually our main overseer. And guy's huge, man. Like he looks big in the video, but
he can move.
Yeah. He's huge. And number one thing is to protect the body and to protect Pastor Raul.
And the funny thing is, Raul's a kung fu master.
I was just gonna say he doesn't need protecting from us.
Yeah. If you guys need protection from him.
Yes, we need protection from him. That's why I try to stay on his good side. But it just again, it always goes back to just level of escalation. And unfortunately, that guy, they tried to push him back, and when he wouldn't go, he had to go down.
They had to take him.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said, so with the second ministry, the security is kind of a combine between the kids and so it's more you're guarding the kids, but you have a desire to teach the youth too.
Yeah. So I prior to the security, I was doing junior high ministry for about 8 years, and when I got into it, my heart has always been with the youth, with junior high mainly, but with all of them, and it all goes back to, for myself personally, when I was in, I tell the kids and they always laugh at me, but when I was in elementary, my elementary went from kindergarten to 5th grade, and then 6th grade, you went to junior high. Well, from kindergarten to 5th grade, man, I was just worried about, getting to the tetherball court, getting to the handball court, recess, man. Like all I wanted to do was beat some girl at tetherball just to say they sucked, right? Like that was my way of thinking. And then something happened to me going into 6th grade where I got introduced to all kinds of stuff, this big world that I knew nothing about, drugs, alcohol, gangs, because I grew up part of my life in Azusa, which is predominantly very heavy with gangs. And like, yeah, man, my whole demeanor changed. And because I had no positive influence, I had older cousins who were about that life also. That's the way that I went. I went from a kid wanting to play tetherball to in 6th grade smoking weed. And just because one of my cousins and friends offered it to me. So as a believer now, I see these kids, these youth, and I'm like, man, like this, when they're in the children's ministry and they're going up through the classes, you see them, man, they're singing the songs, they're really engaging in the Bible. And then right around 5th and 6th grade, they just sit there like a sack of rocks, not wanting any of it. And by the time they come to junior high, like they're trying to figure out, who they are, and not only as kids, but man, as believers. So the Lord just put on my heart to just minister to them where they're at, and to just let them know, like, hey, bro, like this is it. This is where you want to be with Christ, because by the time they get to high school, it's too late. It's way too late.
They get sucked into all
Yeah.
kinds of craziness. Yeah, it's not easy. So, do you see yourself? So, is there plans to start something with the youth soon at Frontside or?
So we actually, I was talking about it earlier, but we actually, maybe like 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, maybe longer, I approached Octavio because all the kids used to just be in one room. My 16-year-old, he teaches at Frontside, the little kids, and he goes through the Bible. But the few times I would sit in, I would notice all the big kids. They were just sitting there goofing off, and the Lord just put on my heart. We had a room right when you walked in. That was our junk room. We just put all the junk in there. So me and my wife and my kids, we cleaned it out, painted the walls, put some couches, some cool artwork, and now that's the youth room. So the youth, we go in there and same thing. I just teach them the Bible just at their level, so where they understand it and it makes sense to them. And kind of we have like little Q&As, and recently we were talking earlier. I just went through the movie series Left Behind, and these kids when they were watching, even my son who's 14, he's in the youth there. As everything was, they were watching it, he would ask questions, and it's crazy to see how they don't really know too much about end times. They know it, but they don't know it. So it was just cool. It's just a cool little thing to have with them.
So now you're hoping to get them schooled up on Revelation.
That's it.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, because I understand the importance of Revelation. And you get these parents that go, well, Junior doesn't need to know that right now. It's just he's too young for it, or it's too scary. Or what would you tell a parent that, like, hey, your teenager really needs to understand this?
You know what? Even all kids, I think. I mean, obviously, the younger the kid, the more you want to kind of not soften it up, but like break it down easier for them to kind of get it, to get the understanding of it. But to take one part of the Bible and just say, they don't need to know about that, then where else are you going to take out to say, well, my kids don't need to know about that either? The Bible, we got, we go through from Genesis all the way to Revelations for a purpose. And Revelation is so important because it's speaking about what's to come. And if our kids aren't walking with Christ, they will be there. And if we don't at least teach them in a manner where they understand it, then we're failing them, because they'll never know the consequence if they get left behind, or God forbid, or what will happen if they don't minister to their friends, what their friends are going to go through, what the teachers, or everybody. It's important. We talk to our kids. My 10-year-old knows about Revelations.
Good.
Yeah,
it's good. Well, any last things you want to share to our audience that's the Lord's put on your heart, or anything that we touched on?
You know what? I think right now, like what the Lord's just been putting on my heart in general for myself personally is, to learn how to just be still and see what He's doing. I think with the world, the way that everything's going on, we can be so quick to try to come up with a plan, to try to come up with, a move to get out of California, or, whatever. But the Lord's just been telling me to be still and see what He's going to do. The whole thing is to make sure that our faith is where it needs to be. It's in Him. Even if it's something that we don't understand of why things are happening, we can understand that God has a plan, God has a purpose, and God has us where He needs us for the very moment until He tells us, okay, now get up and go.
It's interesting you bring that up, because last night we were talking about it with our interns, because there were people talking about, oh man, we got to get out of California, or we got to move over here. And I've had other people tell me like, oh, just move to this state, move to that state, it'll be better. And the interesting thing I found was, so since you brought this up, I want to ask you this question too. What we discovered was when we had individuals that, whether they were active duty and they got out of the Marine Corps or the Navy and they went back home, because that's predominantly what's around this area.
Yeah.
Or they just moved away, they had all mentioned they were struggling to find a church that was like on fire for Christ, like they find here in California. And not that the churches here in California are better, because there's some soup sandwiches here.
Yeah.
But the reality is they said they can't find that passion. and that wanting to know the Bible and some of the places they moved, and that sense of family. And I'm curious for anyone who left Front Sight to like move to another state or left the area. Did you guys discover the same thing that they were expressing about the same?
You know, we've only had one family not in the military that left the state, but they were called to it. For them, they still. I mean, I think anytime you move away from those that you love, those that you've gotten really close with, especially in ministry, it's hard because you don't find that too easily. You know, people that you can turn to and just say, hey. Like, I know I can come to you and you're not going to judge me. You're not going to lecture me. You're going to give me some solid advice, godly advice. But for all that, realistically, for anybody who's listening that's talking about, I'm going to move out of state, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. Every state, no matter where you go, there's going to be problems. I mean, in the age that we're living in, it may not be the same problems in California, but they got their own issues.
Right.
And at the end of it, it's one of those, like, before you get up and go, before you make your plans, make sure that you're lining up with the Lord. Because if not, then you're running for nothing. No matter where you go, you're gonna be Jonah. You're gonna be running away, and you're gonna come through all kinds of trials and craziness, only to realize
you got to come back.
Yeah.
100%. Okay. Here's another one for you. Now that you brought that up. So we have a situation of our own with one of our board members. As we've been praying, it's the guy I was telling you about who's in the Army.
Yeah.
Him and his wife have been praying, and they felt the Lord all of a sudden to say, come back to California. Now, they moved out of California years ago. They started a family. He's solid in the Lord, loves Jesus. He could teach the Bible. That he's a great guy. I love him, love his wife and their kids. And he's like just a brother to me. And all of a sudden, it was in this last year, Joseph and I were praying, and then all of a sudden, Ruben and his wife were praying, and they just felt this like, it's time to come back. So what would you tell a family that they're being called to California to do ministry in the midst of all the craziness that's happening? Or let's just say, like, because there's good Calvary chapels, solid Calvary chapels in New York. And all of a sudden they're like, yeah, man, it's the weirdest thing. The Lord's calling us to go to New York to do this when everyone else is saying run for the hills.
Yeah. You know what? I think more than anything, when it's a calling from God, you can just have trust in knowing, like, again, I don't know why you're calling me here, Lord, but I know you got a plan. There's a purpose for everything. I remember back maybe like 2016, or 2018, something like that. Me and my wife, man, we felt like led that we needed to go to Washington. And we prayed.
DC or state?
Washington State.
Okay.
And so we prayed and we prayed and we prayed. And mind you, when we first, she said, hey, I feel like the Lord's telling me to come here. One of our founders, Dave Ford, moved out to Washington, and my wife kept, praying on it, because where he lives looks like a Hallmark movie. Is really nice. But we prayed about it, and it was crazy because for the longest time, I felt like the Lord was leading us there. And then as we prayed and we would get ready, and in my own mind, I just told my wife, like, hey, let's just go. What are we waiting for? I'll figure something out. Like, we'll go home and just take the money we have here and start something fresh. Maybe start a Front Sight. Maybe, who knows? And the Lord shut the door. And I come to understand, like, the Lord puts in our heart to see where we're at, to see whether we're willing to trust him, just like Abraham.
Right.
Like, he wants to see, are you really willing to follow me, even though you have no clue what's going to happen over there? Man, I have no clue about Washington, nor what they do out there, right? But I was just like, yeah, Lord, if you want to send me, as scared as I was, And for anybody, even for someone who had to go to New York, like, as crazy as things may seem right now, you don't know the Lord needs you at a specific place to be able to minister to those that are being lost because of all the craziness. So everything is about just, the willingness of the heart.
Yeah. I mean, look at, you familiar with David Wilkerson?
Yeah.
The cross and the switchblade. Country dude called to New York City to preach to these gangbangers, and out of it came Nicky Cruz and this whole movement.
You just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Very true. So it sounds like, things are going well, and I'm grateful for you guys. I've known you now for years, and dude, your story's so cool. And for you guys watching right now, he didn't get a chance to tell his whole story. If you ever wanted to hear it, it's on our website and it's on YouTube. Under the guest speakers, you can find it. And he tells his whole story, what happened to him. And I really appreciate you coming down and just being a part of this and telling your story. Yeah. And we'll be praying for you in the ministry and see what's going. And we'll be seeing you on Tuesday when we're up at the conference, which I've been looking forward to.
I'll be there. I'll be looking out for you guys.
So I have one last question for you.
All right.
Why are you not a pastor yet?
You know what? The way that I see it is, Lord has all his timings, and, I don't need to be officially a pastor to be able to.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
But bro, you definitely should be I can see you being a pastor.
You know what? God's timing.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I would always tell people when they either would ask me, when are you gonna be a pastor? I'm like, nah, bro, that ain't for me. Now I say, you know what? Like, if the Lord wills it, then it's gonna happen. If not, then hey, bro, I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wherever he needs me, I've always been good. No matter what. So one day, if I'm gonna be El Pastor Fernando,
then
that'll be
gonna
awesome.
have the glasses.
Oh, I already.
So you have the glasses, be like
the ones where you just kind of lean down.
You gotta lean down and be like, and the word of God said.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, why is he talking that way?
Yeah, why does he have an accent all of a sudden?
Sounds all deep. So thanks for coming out, bro.
Thank you for having me.
It's been great. I love this. And we'll definitely have to have you come back and share on a Friday or fill in on a Sunday when we start Sundays. For you guys who don't know, January 18th, we kick off Sunday mornings.
Awesome, man. Praying for you guys.
We're going to start in Genesis, just go through the Bible.
That's awesome.
And do you have any, that's our show. For y'all who are watching, have a great weekend. Be blessed and have a great Veterans Day.
Amen.
And just keep following the Lord. And as we always say, ready on the right, ready on the left. Are you ready for the Lord's return? Are you ready for the rapture of the church? And are you ready for what the Lord has for you? Have a blessed week.
Ceasefire! Unload! Anyhow.